Gary, it's all wrapped up here at Dartford, mate. Playoff, Eliminator. Both of us a little bit out of breath and lost for words. 0-0 after 90 minutes, extra time, very tense. Get to the penalty shootout, and you take it home 3-2 on the pens. Talk us through your thoughts, mate, because I haven't got any.
It's difficult because I keep coming out here and saying I'm delighted. Well, firstly, I am. I thought, it's a difficult place to come anyway. It's a difficult place when you've had the schedule that we've had, and to come here and put in the shift that we have and limit them to three shots all game. Didn't have a shot in the whole of the first half. That takes some doing, as a team, as a group. Absolutely fantastic to achieve that, and then to go, like I said, and just limit them to that number of chances and have the better chances in the game. Hanksy's got a free header from 2 yards out early on. We then should have scored probably within the next sort of 10 minutes there. So we should have, we could argue could have been 2-0 up within the first 13 minutes. But I'm glad we didn't score that early. Well, we didn't score, but I'm glad we didn't score then. I'm glad we didn't score then, because I think that would have probably invited pressure, and my heart wouldn't have been able to cope with the 90 minutes for there. But I thought we controlled the game and we played really well. They're a good side.
We'll try and do the normal stuff and break the game down. Like you say, you've just alluded to 2 chances early doors there, in Dartford being fairly quiet over the 90 minutes. We got into extra time, and there was by no means an element of hanging on. Again, I think throughout the 30-minute period we had chances, we were carving them open. A couple of one-on-ones. It just almost looked like it wasn't going to be the night. Probably the best chance, certainly in the second half. Alfie's hit one from probably about 25 yards, come off the crossbar, fallen at the feet of Spencer Hamilton. He's unfortunately just dragged it wide. How many people could you have picked to be there instead of your right back?
Listen, when I saw it drop to Spence, I was calm. I thought he'd just slot it home, but he didn't. But he was outstanding in doing everything that I've asked him to do. I didn't ask him. I would have liked to have asked him to score open goals from probably 8 or 9 yards. I don't know if I'm doing him a disservice, but he was brilliant. So, but like I said, it'll say that we won the game. And we had, if anybody was here, they'll know that we had the best chances on the night.
Now we can move on to the other stuff. It's an impossible place to come sometimes, Dartford. Very tricky team, very physical, very powerful, well managed by Steve. They've been here time and time again. For yourself, this is probably your first sort of foray into the National League South. You've guided the boys 5 unbeaten towards the end of the season. You've taken them into the playoffs. You've kept quietly under the radar. You've gone about your business, a few little tweaks, looking much more attacking, looking much more threatening when we're going forward. We move now to arguably our biggest game of the season, the playoff semi-final against Ebbsfleet, a team that you've seen already as a manager. You've got up there and organised a 2-2 draw under very, very different circumstances, knowing that you needed something, whereas this time, probably get to go in there with a bit more of a relaxed game plan and play your 90 minutes knowing that your freedom is there to go and get what you want.
Yeah, mate, no bones about it. It'll be a tough game. We've got to get some rest into these guys first of all. To ask us to go again Sunday is going to be tough. Like I said, I know I mentioned it earlier, but with the schedule that we've had, with the teams we've had to play, we've had to play. When we started this run, we had to play everybody who was above us in the table. We've had to play 5 of the top 6, I think, or 5 of the top 7, and it's going to be no different. But I think, as I said to you before we came on, we've taken points off everybody that's left in it. So yeah, we'll try and do what we can do on Sunday again. Go with a game plan, see where that gets us, and yeah, we'll take it from there.
You're a Chippenham man, Gary. You have been for a long time. Just come by us in the sort of early 2000s. Come back again in 2016. You've been an assistant manager. You've been a coach. You've been a goalkeeping coach. You've been a kit man. Sort of being a T-boy. Now you're the first team manager, albeit on an interim basis. I know what you're going to say. You know what I'm going to ask. Nights like this, moments like that, surely when Mr. Blackmore puts it in front of you, it's going to be harder and harder to turn down.
It does, particularly when you see the fans and how much it means to them, particularly, as I said, on Saturday and again tonight, to get everybody down here and watch extra time and penalties. They're going to get home late, they're going to go to work tomorrow. Some of them have probably turned up today and taken half days unpaid. So when you see that and you see the efforts that people want to go to support this club, and more so when that group of players turns in performances like that, it's really, really difficult. I I've missed one of my daughter's first netball matches tonight, so you know.
She's done very well based on a Twitter poll.
She did, but look, it's all you know. You're going to get the same answer. It will be difficult. It is difficult, but particularly, like you say, when you see what those lads have given tonight, what the fans have given, and the enjoyment that everybody's got off of each other. Look, it's tough.
Take the serious stuff out of the way, Gary. As a first and foremost, as a football fan, as a Chippenham lad who wants to see them do well, regardless of your standing within the club. Scenes like that at the end there, you know, running down here, running over there, fans going mental in one end, players going crazy, cameramen slipping over to try and get pictures of everyone. Just absolute scenes. You know, it's the kind of stuff that I think we've seen probably maybe once or twice in club history. You know, we've seen sort of a similar situation when we got to the Vars final. Yeah. You know, Havant last week was very good, but what words can you use to sum up that, Gary? I mean, as a manager, as a Chippenham guy, as somebody who wants to see us do well, to go and see on a Thursday night in the middle of Kent, 250 odd supporters, including your chairman, bouncing around behind the goal. Try and put that into words for us, mate.
Like I said, it's difficult, and I'm going to repeat myself, but when you see how much it means to people, and believe me, it means so much to the lads to have that support and to continue to have that support. It's amazing. It's a great feeling because, as I said, we've deserved that, and I'm really glad that they had that moment. I sort of had to embrace my inner Roy Keane a little bit on Saturday, just to remind people that actually we'd only just snuck into the playoffs and finished 7th, and you know, it felt like a playoff game on Saturday. We had to have a playoff mentality because we needed to win, so we needed to win again tonight. But look, I'm just glad that again that they've had another moment like that. Whether we can go another 2 games, you know, I very much doubt with the you know, the small squad. That's no secret to anybody. But I think any time that this group's been asked a question this year, they've been challenged. They've had constraint after constraint thrown at them. They've answered every question. You know, they've found a way, and sometimes you just have to find a way. There's no tactics involved or anything. It's just a fantastic group of you know, individuals that, you know, have come as a collective group, and that's no fluke. That's been built over the course of the season. But yeah, listen, fantastic, and I'm really glad that they've had that moment.
Ebbsfleet now on Sunday, Gary. It's going to be one of those games where I'm sure Dennis is scratching his hands together and going 120 minutes in the tank on an already depleted squad, knowing they've got to come back here for another hard game. I think, make no mistake about it, and you and I both know that Ebbsfleet are going to start that game as Stonewall favourites, and we've got another job to do.
Yeah, look, listen, like I said, we'll try and work out what we're going to do, because obviously we have to go Sunday, so the likelihood is that we'll get together Saturday now and work out what we do with them. And yeah, we'll try and go there with the same or a different plan that we did recently. I think it'll have to be something a little bit different, trying to manage the load. We tried to change it up a little bit tonight, just to, and what I mean by that is just so that we weren't covering the same sort of distance as we had. We tried to set a couple of little different things up. So yeah, look, it's going to be a tough job, but we knew it was going to be a tough job, so you know, long may it continue.
And obviously we will get on, Gary, we've all got long trips home and stuff as the boys are starting to filter out now and head towards the coaches, but I think it would be rude not to mention a couple of people that have obviously come in and done the business for yourself. Obviously first and foremost your family have obviously been tremendously supportive, but yeah, getting your best mate in the dugout with you, Mr. Coop. I mean, it goes quietly on for a game, then he doesn't really cheer up too much, sits down and keeps himself to himself, but yeah, what kind of effect has it got to have somebody like Matt as your wingman in there, and you know, he's come over tonight and he's first one in the crowd, first one bouncing. Moments like this are clearly very important to him as well. Yeah, so listen, it's not very often you get to do a job that you like or be involved in something that you like and do it with somebody you really, really like. So you know, he was the first name on my list for people to come and help me out, not least because I knew he was probably, you know, what we needed certainly at this point in time. Like you say, you know, he's enthusiastic, and you know, he loves it and he likes to win. So I have to remind him sometimes that, you know, that we're here in a different capacity, not necessarily as players, and you know, we have to take some of the emotion out of it sometimes. But that's why I think at the moment we're working, you know, as I said, together quite well. I like to sit back and just try and keep a clear head and try and see what I'm doing, and sometimes I'm having to pull him back from you know, the opposition dugout and those types of things. But listen, everyone, you know, who's come in, you know, it's not just us. You know, Joe and the academy lads have been absolutely outstanding for us this year. Loads of work, you know, that they've done certainly personally for me in the last sort of 6 weeks. They've been fantastic, and that's, you know, that's the analysts that are, you know, clipping stuff.
giving us the live feeds at half time so we can look at some stuff. So look, everybody, it's been in a huge collective as a job, fans, board, players, everybody. It's just been a fantastic effort.
And you moved me on to my final point already, Gary. With the work that Joe's doing, it would have been almost criminal to not mention, tonight, bravery from yourself first and foremost to throw them into possibly what could be the proverbial lion's den, but bravery from the lads to go on and take the game by the scruff of the neck. Kane coming on for Joe was obviously very tired. We've started to really feel it in these last couple of weeks, but Kane coming on and doing a job. Unlucky not to win a very dangerous free kick down there. Came in, did well. I don't know about his ball retention, but I didn't see him give the ball away once. I'm sure you'll be able to work that out for yourself.
Yeah.
Most importantly, I suppose you've got to sort of give the tip of the hat to Noah Coppin, a young lad who's made minimal minutes for you this year. Big penalty needed, and up he strides with all the confidence in the world and puts in the roof of the net and sends us on our way. It's got to be amazing when you can look behind you and know that you're brave enough as a manager, but more importantly that these lads are brave enough to come and take this game for you. Yeah,
listen, I was really, really impressed with the way Noah took his penalty, to be honest. I know the keeper probably got a hand to it, but you could see he paused for breath and composed himself, and maybe some of the senior lads can take a bit from that, because maybe they were a bit rushed, but he took you could see he took a couple of 2 or 3 deep breaths, and I think in that moment he's collected his thoughts, and he strode up, and that's a pressure moment, and so I was really, really pleased with that. But other than that, like I said, Kane's come on with sort of 25 minutes to go and been fantastic. He kept the ball really, really well at a moment we really needed him to keep the ball. So I was really, really pleased with him. I was a little bit disappointed. I know you're talking about bravery. I was a little bit disappointed in myself for leaving Youngie on as long as I did. Not trying to get ahead of ourselves at all, but we did have one eye on Sunday at some point, and just thought, if this does go today, then we're going to be spent on Sunday. They were playing with a really high line, and I felt it might not have even gone to penalties if we could have got some pace in up front. So I think I maybe should have been a bit braver and brought Noah on a bit earlier, maybe to give some pace in behind. But it's all good in hindsight. But listen, they've done fantastic for us, and they're going to be needed on Sunday, so we'll see where it goes from there.
Well, Gary, we'll let you get on and head back to the coach, mate, for a fairly long trip home on a Thursday night, but it's all that sweeter with the playoff victory in the bag. It's one of those nights where I genuinely wish that I was on that coach with you, but from all of us here, from your chairman, from your board, from your fans, from all of us that have made the travel and all of us that are watching at home, congratulations tonight, Gary. You've taken the boys the highest they've ever gone into the National League South semi-finals. All the very best to you, mate.
Cheers, thank you, thanks very much.